So I get one of my songs onto a Spotify editorial playlist, and since that's kind of a rare thing, and I've never seen anyone like show the process, what it's like, I thought it would make an awesome video to show you how it works, this special type of editorial playlist called a personalized editorial playlist, how that works, and then also go through the Spotify analytics and give you some advice for how you can improve your chances, and also what I did to get on the editorial playlist. So my song Dreaming was added to the personalized editorial playlist called Bass Arcade. And first I'll show you how they let you know, because it's kind of exciting. Now this is a screenshot because it's from my email initially when it was added, but they send you this email that's good news. You've been added to a Spotify editorial playlist, and you actually get a unique link. So I'll show you that in a sec. But in addition to getting that notification, when you go into your homepage, it'll say some like, congratulations, you get added to this editorial playlist. And that I didn't get a screenshot of that when it happened, unfortunately, but they also let you know on your homepage. But what I did take a screenshot of is the initial way that they present this to you. And so here you can see that what they do is they get in your playlist section in your song, they'll say like, use your unique link to be in the top spot. And this is smart. Basically the way that a personalized editorial playlist works is that there are some songs that always play, there are other songs that change the order, and there are some songs that don't always play. And what happens is, depending on the preference of the user going to the editorial playlist, will change what songs show up. But they want to make sure that artists who get in these playlists can share it to their fans. So they give every single artist their own unique link, so that when they share it to their fans, their song appears in first place. And I also made sure to share a screenshot of that, so you can see here, Bass Arcade, 745,000 followers with my song in very first place in the playlist. Now there's one last way that they let you know when your song's been added, and in your main audience section there'll be this thing, added to playlist, Bass Arcade. And then of course if you go to your music and playlist section, there's a dedicated editorial section that shows you how many streams you've gotten from that so far. So that's a perfect segue into diving into the data. So if I go to my song Dreaming, we can look at how the song played out over its life so far. And it still is on the editorial playlist, so keep that in mind. But basically, this is when I was running my ad campaigns for it. Well, I'm still running some ads on it, but it's drastically gone down. And then here we got our first spike in Release Radar. So basically, it gets added to Release Radar for people who are not following you. Someone asked me that before. Release Radar goes out to all your fans, yes. But if your song performs well, it'll go on people who have never heard you before. And you get a substantial amount of streams from this. And then it goes down, and it just kind of, riding that wave, so to speak. And then this is when it got added to the editorial playlist. So you can see it's a pretty big spike in streams, almost comparable to getting on like Discover Weekly. And then I think it did actually get on Discover Weekly at some point, because I do see streams from that. So if I scroll down, you can see how many streams actually came from each category. Like your profile and catalog and listeners' own playlist and library, this is essentially what's caused by the ad, right? Because I'm sending people to the song, and they save it and add it to their own playlist and listen again. So this is like the advertising. This is from mostly my own playlist, and there was a few Submit Hub playlists that I got the song on. So that's what this category is. 30% basically of the song, the streams from the song were from the editorial playlist, which is awesome. Unfortunately, I've noticed that just like most playlists, they don't generate a good amount of follows or saves, really. Like, they don't generate you fans. They just kind of give you a lot of streams. It seems to be a little better performing than like a random user playlist, but it's still not as good as the traffic you get from ads. And then we have algorithmic playlists, Release Radar, Discover Weekly, and then other website, I guess. We can go into the playlist here. You can see 7,800 or 7,700 streams from that playlist in the past like 2 weeks, basically, since it was added, 2.5 weeks. 1,400 from Release Radar. And then so far, 560 from Discover Weekly, but it was only added to that, I think, about a week ago, and it's been kind of like ramping up, which is fantastic. And then most of these other playlists are just people who liked the song and added it, with the exception of a few. Like, I think this is a Submit Hub playlist. This is someone who I hit up on Instagram, where we kind of like, I added one of his songs, he added one of my songs and stuff. So yeah. So as you know, I'm kind of a data snob, and I track almost everything. So just focus on the save rates here, because there's a lot going on. But basically, this is when the 17th and the 18th is when the song got added to Bass Arcade, and that's when I started tracking editorial percentages. And you can see that as soon as it gets added to the playlist, the save rate starts dropping. Before that, it was like 40 to 55%, which is fantastic. It's still doing very good at a 20-something% average save rate, but there is an impact to the performance of the song in terms of like the quality of people when it gets added to any playlist, really, with the exception of algorithmic playlists, but that still has a factor. All right, so you're probably thinking, Andrew, that's great, congratulations, but how do I actually get added to an editorial playlist? So I'll show you the pitching tool if you're not familiar with it, because actually you pitch these playlists directly inside of Spotify for Artists. And then I'll show you how I did it or how I do it, and then some general tips you can do to improve your chances. So if I hop back into Spotify for Artists, you go to your music page and then go to upcoming. You'll see your upcoming releases here. Now there'll be a button somewhere here that says pitch to editorial. I already did this for this particular song, but I can show you what I did. Basically, you pick genre, subgenre, like cultures, moods, languages, instruments in the song, if it's a cover or remix, an instrumental, if it's live or it's in the studio, and then you get a pitch. So basically what you should think of in the pitch is a mixture of what's the song about and also some kind of bragging rights, or how you're going to help Spotify, or how you're going to promote the song. And the way that I do it is I'll just read it to you. This song is about making a relationship for the purpose of pushing yourself forward in the most negative perspective possible and pursuing your dreams with reckless abandon. It's a collaboration. So by the way, that's the part about the song. Then it's a collaboration between myself and my friend Scarlett, Big Jar, who is a certified Ableton trainer and music production educator at Warp Academy and Icon Collective, and was a speaker at NAMM 2020. This is kind of adding some clout to the song. Like, hey, this is collaboration. Spotify loves collaborations. Hey, the friend I'm collaborating with has some background, has some reputation that you should kind of think, maybe this would be good to add this person to an editorial playlist. And then aside from both pushing it on our social media pages, we'll be running a large Facebook ad campaign with Spotify as the #1 platform. So I'm saying we're pushing the song, we're driving traffic to Spotify, you're our #1 focus. So the idea is that they're gonna look at the song and they'll see, okay, maybe it lines up with the playlist in terms of style of music, and then if it doesn't, maybe it lines up with the song in terms of lyrical content. That's why I talk about the song. And then basically the rest is just a little incentive. I don't know how much that makes an impact, but I do this with every song, and I did this with the song that got accepted. So that's the pitch. Now what you should do, and this is going to sound kind of hard to do, but they recommend you pitch your song 4 to 5 weeks before it comes out. So that means you have to send it to your distributor 5 weeks before it comes out, and usually, like with DistroKid, for example, it'll show up in Spotify within 24 to 48 hours after you hit submit, and then you do the pitch, and you have to wait 5 weeks until that song drops. What I did for my song Dreaming is I only submitted it 2 weeks before the song came out, and then about a week and a half to 2 weeks after it was out, that's when it actually got added. So they recommend 5 weeks. My song didn't take that long, and a lot of songs never get added. Like, a lot of people have said, like, wow, that's amazing, you get added, I wish I could get added, but I want to point out that I've submitted like 30, 40 songs to them, and I've only gotten one added. So the competition's fierce. Spotify adds 40,000 new songs a day. I don't even know how many of those people submit to editorial playlists, but the competition is incredibly fierce, especially if you're in EDM or hip-hop or pop. If you're in like an indie genre, it seems to be easier, but for just keep in mind, no matter what the genre is, the competition is fierce. So nobody should rely on getting on a Spotify editorial playlist because the chances are so low. In fact, don't rely on playlists to promote your music. It's not a great way to promote your music on Spotify. What I recommend is using Facebook ads, and I have a bunch of videos in that playlist that show you how to use Facebook ads to promote your music, and it's working great for me and a whole bunch of people I know. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.